Hello and welcome back again. My name is Kelly with Soaping Soprano, and today we are going to be making Amethyst soap. And I'm using the Amethyst fragrance oil from Brambleberry. And it smells quite delicious. I'm super excited about this one. So let me show you what I did first before I ever did any of this. So the other day I made amethyst points. Let me just set that right there. See, it works for lots of things. And what I did was I got this mold right here out of the candy aisle at the craft store. You see how they're little rectangles, that word, you know, and I poured them. I didn't fill them all the way up. I filled them maybe halfway full, and then I had little log things. Let me set that out of the way. And then I cut them kind of, you know, I cut them into two pieces. So these are not obviously the same one, but you get the idea. And then I had two little pieces, and I cut some sides to make them look crystal-like and a point. And then I've let these sit for a couple days to get fully hard so I can handle them without smushing them. So these are cold processed soap, just like the actual soap will be. And we'll get to those at the end. But I wanted to go ahead and show you so that you could see what was coming. So now we got that, I have my melted and cooled off oils and lye solution, so we'll combine them and get started making our soap. So now that we're blended to a very light trace, I'm going to split off my colors. Again, I'm using very little of each one, so I'm only going to use these small cups. And I'm going to go ahead and split that off. Maybe that much, and maybe that much. Maybe a little more. There we go. Let me catch my drips so that I'm not a totally messy soaper. And I'm going to have white in one, which I'll use titanium dioxide for, and I'm going to have a gray. So that I'm going to be using Satin Gray Pillowcase from Mad Oils, or Mad Micas now, they've changed the name. And then I will be using Harold's Purple Crayon to get hopefully a light purple in this one. I may have to add a little titanium dioxide. So we'll do that, we'll add our fragrance, and we'll get ready to pour. Ready to start pouring. I'm going to take these, and I'm going to take my gray, and I'm going to put it on the bottom and just kind of zigzag it a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the white. And then I'm going to do that sort of back and forth until I'm done with both of these colors. Made my crystal points, I had a lot that I kind of chopped off and wasn't going to use for them, so I decided to use those in there as well. So this is why I wanted kind of a light purple so that these will show up against it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump the scraps in, all of them, and then kind of fold them into the mix. So they're more or less evenly distributed. It doesn't have to be super precise. So, like, if you look at it now, you can't even really see them. I mean, you might see a couple chunks, but nothing super crazy. And then I'm going to pour this over that. And I'm hoping not to break through. Now, I know this is a super thin layer, so if I do, it's not the end of the world, really. As what does his head says, Bob Ross, you know, only happy accidents, so that will be a happy accident if it happens. now that we've got it in there pretty evenly, I'm going to go ahead and put in my crystal chunks. I don't know if you can see this, they're really light, but I have lines marking where I want each of them to go so that I can get a whole one on each one. So I'm going to put them in, and I'm going to put these in at kind of an angle. Otherwise, I will cut them, and I don't want to do that. I'm kind of making any adjustments that I need to. These are the bigger ones that I'm putting in on this side. And I'm pushing them in there so that they stick pretty well, hopefully, once everything is nice and solid. So we got those in, and now I'm going to put those smaller ones in, and I want to put those in a little more straight up and down right there, almost in the middle. And hopefully they stay up, because that one wants to fall over. And it's not the end of the world if they fall over. This is going to be our happy accident soap. So, especially when I drop things. Get all that going. And last one. Then we'll spray it with our 91% rubbing alcohol and be back to cut it in a couple days. Okay, we're back and ready to cut our amethyst loaf. You can see I had a little trouble getting it out of the mold. Some of the corners are a little wonky, but that's why I leave the extra, so I have room to fix that. So let's cut it and see what happens on the inside. Alright, ready for the reveal. Okay, I'm alright with that. It's nice and pretty. See the little flecks of the embeds that I had put in, and then our gray and white for the happy accident, and of course the prongs sticking out. I'm okay with that. I think it's super pretty, and it smells delicious. Well, maybe delicious isn't the right word. I don't want to eat it, but I do want to use it. See all the different flecks of the embeds, and then you can see how this one you can see all the way down, and I took off some of the next one too. Let's see, some of them don't have quite as much of the gray. There's some there, but you can't see it there. I think it's one of the things I like about handmade soap and cutting it. No two bars are ever exactly the same. So it's always a surprise to see what it is that you're going to get. And then here's our end cuts with just kind of the leftovers. And you can see the edges, especially if this one just got torn up. So these will go in as sample soaps or something like that probably. No waste ever. Okay, well, that's it for our amethyst soap. See you next time.